Hi everyone, thank you for joining live again, David. My name is Isabel Martins from healthandnaturallife.com, and on this series of videos I love to share the things that catch my attention, that make my juices flow, my passion, understanding energy, consciousness, how we work, how we interact with our environment, and this video is going to be precisely on that, something that has been catching my attention a lot recently, especially because of what we're doing in the Empower Love group, which, if you're not familiar with it, it's a group that I ran with Danny Green about energy clearing, energy exercises. So it's all things energy and consciousness related. This month we have different themes each month, and this month has been all about manifestations. And I've noticed something interesting. It just became crystal clear, a pattern that I have and that I see many people have, which is not making a decision for what we want. And this is what I wanted to share with you all here today, my extended tribe and community, because I see that for a lot of us, this is, well, it's a reality. It's what it is. It's something that we might not even be fully aware of, but that we are wasting our energy or not directing our energy towards what we want because of not making a decision for it. So a little bit of background. If you're here, you're probably been aware of energy, of limiting beliefs, of the law of attraction, of creating your reality for a while. I have been as well, and you've probably been clearing your energy, your counter intentions, your limiting beliefs for a while. I have as well, and yet there is still, of course, we're not enlightened beings, at least speaking for myself yet, so there are still counter intentions, there are still cross currents, there are still things that we are holding from our past experience that keep us from feeling that we can fully create and live whatever we, excuse me, we choose, and not yet. Okay, better. That keep us from fully believing that we can create and live whatever it is that we want in our lives. And it's those doubts, it's those ifs, the buts that keep us from actually even acknowledging sometimes our dreams, our desires, our heart and soul desires, and even more than that, keep us from fully making a decision for, yes, I own that, I want to experience this, that I want to live this, that I want to be even this way. So it's a process, really is. But this month, because we are focusing on deliberate, consciously applying tools for deliberate manifestation in the Empower Love group, I have been paying very close attention to what is that comes up. And one of the biggest deterrents for us to actually have what we want in our lives, be who we want in our lives, do what we want in our lives, is not making a full decision for it. And not making a full decision, energetically, it feels to me, it kind of looks like this. We want something, but we're a little bit on the wishy side of it. So I wish if that happens, that will be really good. And yeah, no, I really want it, but it's still, I really want it, but I'm not fully engaged in it. It's almost like I really want it. It would be really lovely if it's not a I really want it. And yeah, this is where I'm focusing, investing my attention and my energy. It's not a hustle. Let's be clear here. I don't like the hustle mentality. I've been burned by it before. It's just, it's not the most efficient, let's put it like that, way of doing things. It can work, but you're burning a lot of energy without really needing to. What I mean here is making a full decision for something will open the floodgates of energy for you. So when we're in that wish type of energy, we can feel almost like we're pulling a little bit of energy from here and then letting it go. Then we're pulling a little bit of energy again from here and letting it go. And then pulling a little bit of energy from here and letting it go. We're not really honing the energy. We're not really directing the energy clearly to something, because probably of the cross currents, the counter intentions that come up, and we're just kind of opening the door a little bit, peeking in and just letting it go. So it never fully really gets the opportunity, our energy, our consciousness, our broader self, to really summon, draw in the energy, the resources, the support, the co-creative components around us. It never fully has that green light, because we're always in the green, yellow, green, yellow, green, yellow, and sometimes green, yellow, red. Nope, I don't even want this. I can tell you that this has been my pattern for a good few months, very clearly, and I'm very aware of it, for really making a decision for a new car. I've mentioned this before if you have been regularly following my broadcasts. My old car, my little Smart, really is telling me that it's time to let it transform into a new version of a car. But I've been going, I don't want to spend the money. The car that keeps coming up for me, that it's the car that is my next natural choice. I still look at it and just go, is that really for me? Is it okay? Or do I actually have the capacity to hold that type of a car, to live in that? All types of things that make, and I love this one, maybe it's just my ego that wants it. It could be a valid concern, but I've had ample of proof every time that I ask, I need a confirmation here, that's the car that keeps coming up. So we have all sorts of yes, ifs and buts that keep us from making a decision and keep us in that state of just peeking and letting go. Peeking and letting go, which in practical terms can look like I'm seeing the thing that I want, or the state that I want to be in. I'm seeing it kind of close around me, but never really for me. Or I'm seeing it in other people in a way that feels familiar to me, but then I'm seeing something in them as well that I don't like. So we're seeing reflections when we're in this kind of peeking but not fully stepping through the door thing. We see signs of the things that we want, but they're not in our lives. They're not, it feels almost like they're not really making progress. Like there's a step forward and then we come back. Step forward again and then we come back. And it is because of the counter intentions, because of the fears, of the ifs, of the buts. And there is a way to actually practice embodying, making a full decision for whatever it is that you want. And that's what I wanted to share in this video. But before getting there, I'm just going to go through a few of the counter intentions and cross currents that we might have. Just see if these are familiar. These are mine. These are the ones that not mine as in I'm owning them, but the ones that I've identified in myself. So there has been a very clear, for me, fear of something not being possible. Okay, I can't even see how that could happen. So I'm not even going to make a choice to explore it, to just go full out and just see what comes up. So there has been that, if what you want that lights you up, and let's say that what you want that lights you up, because when we have a desire and we kind of feel, yeah, I really want that, but it feels like a contraction, like a despair type of, I really want that. That's coming from a lack position. So you're just trying to move away from something that is happening in your life and that you don't want. The type of desire that I'm talking about is so let's call it heart and soul desire, is one that when you think about it, you might still feel the fear, might still feel the doubts, but it's just something that lights you up, that just brings joy to you, that just feels expansive, and of course on the first reaction, because right after that all the fears, all the doubts might creep in. But something that just makes you smile when you talk about it, when you just allow yourself to even daydream like a child, just what if this and this, something that makes you smile, lights you up. That's a heart and soul desire. That's not something that's coming from your ego. That's an inspired expansion for your life that's coming from your broader self. Hi Hazel, good morning to you. Thank you for joining me live too. Those desires are inspired. They are fully aligned and supported. It's just us that have, from our past experiences, from what we see in other people, we have the counter intentions, we have the fears, we have the limiting beliefs. And especially if the desire feels big, this one, I can even see how that would happen. This is a big one that keeps us from just fully making a decision still. Yeah, I don't know how this is going to happen, but I'm still going to aim for this because I love it so much that I'm going to aim in this direction and continue. Another one, and this has been one that's a big one for me, a cross current, because of my past, because of traumas, is the fear of having to pay for it, whatever the it is that I desire, especially if it's material things. There's a fear of, okay, if I achieve that, first of all, I'll have to pay for it in terms of energy. It's because of the hustle mentality that burned me in the past. I'll have to pay for it with energy in terms of fatigue, burning out, all of those things. It's the hustle, the pushing type of forcing something to happen. And again, like I mentioned earlier in the video, that's the way that most of us have been taught to achieve things, is to force, is to push, is to make things happen, instead of actually aligning, opening our energy, letting all the support come in, and taking inspired action that actually feels nourishing for us, that feels joyful, that feels inspired, that feels passionate, that has that kind of it might not be an easy breezy action, but something that we love, that still feels that it's moving so much energy through us that it enlivens us, even if at the end of the day we're tired and we're just, okay, I really need to rest now, but I feel so, yes, happy, satisfied. That type of action is what's natural for us when we make that full decision for something that is a heart and soul desire, and we move with inspired, aligned action. And then for me, there was also the fear of, okay, if I do get this, then the people that surround me will attack me somehow, physically, mentally, verbally, energetically. This is coming from my background, from my culture, and it's just a belief. It's not a reality. I can make it a reality if I hold on to that belief, but it's not a reality. It's just a filter that I have that does need to be clear. But this has kept me, to a large extent, sometimes it's kept me from making a full decision. Another one is almost like a regret type of fear. What if after I achieve this, I won't like it? What if I regret it? And this, at its background, at least for me, still has it will have been a waste of my energy, and I've been working so hard for something, and then no, this is not really what I wanted. That still has the hustle and force mentality in it, because if it's something that it's coming, again, if it's coming from heart and soul inspiration, you will love it. I will love it. That's not an issue. And the path towards that fulfillment of that new reality will be nourishing, will be pleasurable, will be just so fulfilling, so satisfying, that even if it were to happen somehow that we kind of notice, this is not exactly what I wanted, it would just be a case of, okay, well, I really enjoyed it. Now let me tweak this a little bit to this slightly different outcome, and we just keep on moving and adjusting, because that's something else that, at least for me, I've noticed in my mind. When I make a clear decision for something, in the past, when I made a clear decision for something, it was almost like it's this picture. It almost didn't allow for an evolution of the outcome, and that's not useful either. So it's making a full decision for something and not attaching first and foremost to the how that will happen. But second as well, not attaching to a specific way that that thing needs to be, period, and allowing as we keep on aligning and keep on moving in the path of actually bringing it into fruition, into a reality, downloading it, materializing it around us, just allowing for different iterations. So for little things perhaps to adjust to be even better, to be even more aligned with what we want. So allowing that flexibility and not having a rigid type of, like a goal. A goal is a rigid type of decision. This by this time, just I'm speaking for myself, but what came up was a take it easy. Just allow for a little bit of flexibility, not in the desire of what you want, but in the details, in the nuances. Just allow it the space and the freedom to evolve into something that's even more joyful, more pleasurable, more aligned for what it is that you, heart and soul, want there. So something else that's it's a big one for me, and for most of us, I would say, that keeps us from actually fully making a decision for something is that I don't know how. I don't know how that will happen. And this one is especially prevalent when there are things that we think are big for whatever reason. If you have been familiar with the materials from Abraham Hicks, they have a saying that I understood and still understand rationally, but on an embodied level, it's still finding its way into knowing it to be true. And they say that it's as easy to create a button as it is to create a castle in energetic terms. So everything around us, everything inside of us, everything in our reality is just energy. We are conditioned sensorially and from our culture to see everything as physic, as solid, as matter, as atoms that need to be pushed around in order for things to change. Truth is everything before that more condensed version of energy that we perceive. Everything is very light and has a template, an energetic template that then starts coalescing, condensing, being filled in. So in terms really of energy, it's the same to create a template for a button as it is to create a template for a castle. It might and it will require of us to open up energetically a lot more, to fill in, to allow to fill in the castle than it is the button. But then again, we probably have a lot more passion towards the castles in our lives than the buttons. So when there is that passion, there is that desire, there is the clear decision to open up, and yes, I'm making a full choice for this, a full decision for this, the energy just starts flowing and it is quite a rise. So I wanted to share as well what you can do to actually practice an embodied state of decision, because I've known about the power of a decision for a very long time. I just didn't know what I could actually do to actually make myself come into a fuller state of a decision. And decisions, from what I've seen in myself, can be made in different degrees. So there might be a light decision for something, yes, I want that. Then there's a slightly more intense type of decision, like, yes, I want that. It's almost like levels of yang, if this makes sense. There's the more yin with a little bit of yang, so that's a lighter decision, and a little bit more yang, more stronger decision, and almost the full yang, but not full yang, because we still need the yin to allow for the flexibility and for things to be able to morph into something that's even more aligned. But the more type of full decision feels to me very much like a yang type of energy. So it's a direct energy, and I'm assuming for men this will be much more comfortable and easy because, well, for the most part you love and are very used to running more yang energy. For women, it might feel sometimes a little bit harder because we're very used to the yin of flowing on something and being more flexible about things. So it is a matter of practice, and both men and women, of course, run yin and yang energy because we are integral human beings. We need both types of energy, otherwise we'll just be completely off balance. But to make a full decision for something, it does feel that it's a much more predominant yang type of energy that we apply towards something, with that part of the yin as well, that allows for the flexibility, that allows us to not be attached to the house, not to be attached to a specific look of how something needs to be. So there's a balance there. And a way to actually practice making this full decision, or knowing, actually gauging where you are in terms of something that you desire, to know, okay, so what level of a decision have I made here? Is this a, kind of wish still? Is this more of a, I kind of made a decision for it, but I'm still holding myself back? One of my teachers, Rachel Jane Groover, calls it, we're hedging our bets, kind of going, but just putting one foot forward, but the other one is still back, just in case, not fully going through that door. And sometimes we can just notice, okay, no, I've made a full decision for something. And we can look in our lives into times, even on a daily basis, we make decisions. We're always making decisions. But those decisions usually aren't the type that feels very much like something that is very yang. It's almost like, okay, I need to decide what I'm going to have for lunch. I need to decide what I'm going to wear. And we can start noticing how those small decisions feel in our body. So let's say I chose to wear this today. As I was thinking, okay, so what am I going to wear? I'm going to wear maybe this? No. Maybe that? No. And then my mind just gave me a picture. This. Okay. It was a small decision, so it didn't really run a lot of energy, but it just felt like a release, a letting go of the questioning, of the trying to run different scenarios. It just settled. It felt calm. Bigger decisions have much more of a clear, embodied feel to them. I'm going to share mine, but I want you to think about the time when you made a full decision for something that you felt was big. For instance, if you ever bought a car and you at some point you decided it's this one, you can bring that to your mind and just notice the points that I'm going to just talk about, and just notice how that decision feels in your body, how you embody a full decision. Moving to a place, a new house, a different area to live in, deciding to go on a vacation and deciding where and when, those are also decisions. Deciding to buy something that maybe it was a bigger purchase, deciding even to end a relationship, deciding to start a relationship. There's a sentence that to me almost feels like a trigger to bring decision, that type of embodiment. Was using this yesterday in the Empower Love group. Let me see if I can remember it again. It was something on the lines of, nope, my decision is made. It's this. It feels, and I'm going to share how I feel a decision in my body. It feels like a very straight spine, a very strong core line, so the center line and the center of my body just feels very strong, almost like it's filled and it's strong, it's straight. I feel my chest. I'm not pushing forward, I'm not leaning back, but there is that sense of, it's not pride, it's almost like chest held high, head held high, not high as in prideful, but high as in confidence, that type of energy. My shoulders are just completely relaxed because a decision has been made, I don't need to worry about the other options or anything else. Shoulders are relaxed, and there's a deep breathing with that as well. So not leaning forward, not leaning back. My jaw is also relaxed, eyes relaxed. That's how I do full decisions in my body. This is an embodied state that can be triggered and that can be copied and that can be linked to whatever desire I want to make a full decision for. And this is what I'm suggesting that you do as well. This is practicing the energy of making a full decision for something. You look into your own life to see where you made a full decision for something, and you just notice how that feels for you. It might feel similar to what I described. It might have its unique nuances for you because embodiment implies that it's different for each body, although it might be similar in a lot of ways. And then you start noticing, okay, so how am I breathing? What are my facial expressions? How are my eyes? How are my jaws, my mouth? How is my neck? Is it standing forward, back? Is it just straight on top of my shoulders? How do I feel my shoulders? How do I feel my torso? What is my posture? Am I leaning forward, back? Am I just straight? Well, how am I breathing? That's your embodiment of a full decision. And then when you have that, you just pay attention to how that feels, trigger it, and just bring to your mind the thing that you want to make a full decision for. And you are already linking that state of a full decision with that desire. It might be really hard to either hold that desire in your mind or to hold the embodiment of a decision, because there are still the counterintentions, there are still the limiting beliefs, there's still all of that. And that's when you know, okay, and by the way, this is clearing energy as well. So, you know, I haven't yet made a full decision for this, because you can't even either hold the full picture, or you can't really hold that clear state of a full decision. Something will come up, something will contract, something will make you shift, even if it's just breathing pattern, or even it's just something tensing up in your eyes. You know, okay, so there are still degrees to be worked through, so to speak, or to be practiced to make an even fuller decision for this, that I want this, that my heart and soul just, it lights me up. That is a true desire. And you just keep on practicing. Really, this one is like anything in energy clearing. You keep on practicing until you feel that, okay, I can hold that vision, that desire in my mind, in my awareness, and I can feel that energy. Full decision for it. That's a match now. I've made, every time that I think about it, there's that that embodied sense of, yep, that's a full decision for me. And then you know. And by the way, when you do make a full decision for something, it's almost like a be warned type of thing. It will open the floodgates for energy to come through you, and it will bring up all types of insecurities, the fears, the doubts, everything that's in your energy system, in your mind, that's not aligned with the version of you that you need to be to live that desire, to live that experience. Everything that's not a match will come up. So it's almost like make a decision and stay the course, because all types of stuff will come up. And this is when energy clearing is key here, awareness and energy clearing, because everything that comes up, you can't identify with it. Otherwise you'll just go back again and close in and just backtrack. I don't want to make a decision for this again. No, make that decision. Allow yourself, be aware that when that much energy starts running through you, it will bring to the surface the doubts, the fears, the insecurities, the everything, and even situations in your life, or even people in your life that are not a match to that. Everything will be brought to your awareness in order to allow it to dissolve, to allow it to integrate. And I don't say this enough, but if you do need help when these things come up, reach out. I have, if you want to be in a group setting, the Empower Love program. We do energy clearing sessions every week. We do exercises every week as well. If you want to have support individually, I do offer as well the energy integration sessions. Anything and everything, it's always available to you. So if you want to check, you always have the links in the description box, because these things can be tricky for us to navigate because we are so immersed in our own patterns, in our own fears, that we sometimes just believe them so automatically that we don't even realize that it's just something that came up to be integrated, to be healed, to be allowed to dissolve, so that we can expand into that new level of a life that is what that energy is summoning and moving through us, for us to fully embody and materialize that desire that we want all around us. So this is what I wanted to share, how to actually embody a decision. And again, embody the decision, full decision for something, and then stay the course. Know that everything that's not a match to it will come up. And remember, it's just awareness, it's just energy coming to the surface, that it's not a match that wants to be integrated, that wants to be dissolved. It's old patterns that don't serve you anymore, that are not a match to what you want, to that version of your life and of yourself that you're creating. With that, something that you made a full decision for, stay the course, keep clearing what comes up, and keep honing on that. Just keep noticing every now and again, am I still a full decision for this? And if you're not, go for it again, practice. So hope this was useful. Do let me know if you have any comments, questions. Thank you, David. Excellent insight. Just whatever you need. If you do need help, do reach out as well. And I hope see you on the next video. Like, share, do what you feel inspired, and make that decision for your life, for what calls you, what calls your heart, what calls your soul, because you deserve it. We all deserve it. We want human beings to be fully lit up and to create from that beautiful space of alignment with our hearts, with our souls. It's the new reality that we're birthing, and we need to make a full decision for the things that light us up, because that's what's bringing it through.